Hey everybody, I've got another video for you. It's been a little while since I've posted anything. Guess I was on a little hiatus from videos anyway. Most of you guys out there know me from US Express, and I've left US Express. I was with them for about a year and a half. I was a company driver with them. How do I want to say it? I don't regret any of the time that I spent with US Express. I learned a lot from them. They were the first company that I had driven for. Like I say, I was a company driver for them. It started out really good. I was getting good miles and I was making good money. But towards the end there, the miles really dropped off, and well, you know, no miles, no money. So I had to make a decision, and I decided to leave. I'm very anal, and I did a lot of research, and I chose John Christner Trucking, and they are out of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, which is over by Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm purchasing a truck through them, and I thought I'd make a video here and show you guys what kind of a truck I've got with John Christner. So here we go. So here's my tractor through John Christner. It's a 2012 Freightliner Cascadia. I'll try to walk slow here. I don't jiggle the camera around a whole lot. It looks pretty similar to my US Express truck that everybody knows me from. I had a 2011 Cascadia with them. There's a few differences here. We'll start out in the front here and work our way around. US Express used blindside cameras. On the passenger side, they had a camera mounted on the fender, and there was a monitor on the dash. Christner doesn't do that. They use the blind spot mirrors. But blind spot mirrors have come a long way over the years, and they're not the three arm cameras anymore. They're a little bit more aerodynamic, a little bit more stylish, and I don't think it looks too bad. I kind of like it. They almost look like motorcycle mirrors. You can see my front bumper now is the same color as the rest of the truck, and I've got the chrome insert right there in the center in the bumper. I've got a visor again on this truck. A lot of the Cascadias do not have the visor on it. That's a company option. Depends what the company wants to do. You see my blind spot mirrors are chrome on the front, and my side mirrors are chrome. I kind of like that. Walking around to the side, I've got 120-gallon tanks. With US Express, I had 100-gallon tanks. You can see I've got my luggage door there. I still have a vent on this side, and you can see my top windows. Going further towards the back, let me pan out here a bit. This truck is longer than US Express. It's close to 12 inches longer. It might be just 10, but it's longer. Wheelbase between the front wheel, you know, and your first set of drives. And that 10-12 inches really makes a huge difference. I was surprised the first time I went to back into a dock. Man, you just barely turn that wheel and that trailer's turning when you're backing up. But moving around towards the back, I've got steps going up here to my catwalk now. US Express didn't have a catwalk at all. I've got a chain rack. These folks do a lot of West Coast stuff, and Midwest out to West. There's states that have chain laws, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use them, but you have to have them on your truck during certain times of the year. So being they go out there a lot, we have to have them. I still have super singles for my drives. Looking at the back of the truck, John Christner does refrigerated hauling, so I've got my load locks. I've got a little side camera there, or not camera, side light there to help see better at night. That thing right there is part of my APU system. That's a auxiliary power unit, APU, and that is for my air conditioning. And I'll show you that on the other side when we walk on around. Something I wanted to show you on the on these tires here. All of my tires on the valve stems have one of these little things, and I'll show you what those are when we go inside the truck. Here's their trailers. Like I said, they're all refrigerated trailers. You can see the reefer unit up front. I'll probably do another video on the reefer trailers and how they work. Let's walk around to this side real quick and I'll show you what this APU is all about. Oh, on this side here, I don't know why they do it just on one side, but I've got a nice little window in the sleeper on this side, and that opens, and there's a screen in there. You can see I've got another luggage door on this side. I didn't have that with USX. Excuse me. Here's the APU unit. You can see it's a Thermo King tri-pack. And essentially what we have here is there's a little two-cylinder Yanmar diesel engine in there. And like I say, this when I'm shut down for the day or for the night, I can use that for my air conditioning and my electricity. That keeps my batteries charged up. And like I say, that up there is part of the unit also. That's for my air conditioning. But to idle your big engine uses about 1 gallon an hour. This little thing will run for 10 hours on 1 gallon. So you can see the cost benefits there when diesel's over $4 a gallon. So let's walk back around this side here and I'll show you the inside. And like I said, this is a Cascadia. I had to go and get the floor mats, Cascadia. For the most part, it's a lot like my USX truck. The doors are all the same. You see, I got my door pockets. I've got my locks, or my windows and my mirrors, I mean. But there's a few differences in this truck. I've got some extra gauges. I didn't used to have some of these. That's an oil temperature gauge. That's a transmission temperature gauge. And then I've got my water temperature and my oil pressure. Over on this side here, I've got my fuel and my def gauge. I've got my 2 air gauges. And then I have an air suspension gauge, and that tells me how much weight is on my fifth wheel. And you can see right there above the 50, I've got a little black mark. If I get close to that, that means I'm getting pretty close to being 34,000 pounds on my fifth wheel. Here we have an air application gauge, and I'll show you what that does. When you step on the brake pedal, it shows you how much air that you're applying to your brakes. And then, of course, you know, I still have my my GPS. This here, I'll let you watch that for a second. You can see what this is showing you is your tractor. You've got your 2 front tires and you've got your 4 drives in the back, and it tells you what your air pressure is inside the tire that's blinking, and it also tells you what the temperature is inside that tire. So that's kind of cool. They're real big on having a proper pressure in your tires, and really they're supposed to be 110. I've noticed that this gauge is a couple pounds off, and you really see a difference in temperature. You can see it's reading 49 degrees right now. It got pretty chilly last night, but they're really big on economy and tire pressure and anything that we can to get more miles per gallon out of these trucks, which is really kind of cool, I think, because you know, since these are lease purchase trucks, we're paying for the fuel, but yet they're concerned in us saving money. If you remember from my US Express truck, right in here I had my computer mounted, and They don't use, that was a driver tech system, and they don't use that. They use Qualcomm's, and I'll show you that in a minute. But you can see I've got my XM radio, and I took out one of the dummy slots there for right now, just to run my wires for my XM.